Good afternoon, class. Thank you. You can sit down. All right, we'll be looking at percentage change. But the first thing we'll do is correct the homework that you were given. That was question 6, question 7, 8, and 9. Question 6. A, I think I gave you the answer, 17%. All right, for letter B, we'll start from the front. Taumaku, your answer for letter B, please.
26 and 2/3%.
26 and 2/3% is correct. Or letter C, Kyle.
24%.
24%, correct. Kiapin for letter D.
7%.
7% is correct. Okay, question 7. What percentage of 150 is 24%? Okay, I think it's question 8 on your worksheet. Okay, just answer the one on the screen. It should be what percentage of 154 is 24? Okay.
16%.
16% is correct. Number 8, if 20% of the length of a bar is 23 centimeters, what is the complete length? Miriam? That's number 10 on your worksheet.
115 centimeters.
115 centimeters, good. Then, at the music concert, the total attendance was 450. That's number 12 on your worksheet. If the students bought 86% of the tickets and the staff bought 2%, how many outsiders were at the concert?
54 outsiders.
54 outsiders. Okay, you should have got all those questions correct. Okay, we now look at percentage change. The first thing is, if you are to increase the quantity according to a certain percentage, right? Percentage change is basically increasing and decreasing according to a certain percentage. So if you are asked to increase, let's say 50 kina by 10%, how much would you have if you increase 50 kina by 10%? Any ideas on how I should do this? Siegfried? Pass the mic to Siegfried, please.
First, you find 10% of 50 kina.
Which will give 5 kina, and then
You add it to 50 kina.
add it to 50 kina. So I get 55 kina. Okay, good, thank you. You get 10% of 50 kina, and then you add the value that you get to 50 kina. All right, is there any other method? Any other ideas on what I should do? Livingston?
You add 10% on the 100%, and you find 110% of 50 kina.
Okay, divide or add?
You add 10% to 100% and get 110, and then you put 110 over 100 times 50.
Okay, very good. Because you're increasing, you're also increasing 100. When a percentage is always out of 100, but because you're increasing, you can also add 10% to 110%. Sorry, 100%, and you get 110%. So it will be 110% of 50 kina. You actually get 55 kina straight away. No need to add. Okay, so that's the other method. Now, there are times where this one is much easier to use than this, especially if algebra is involved and you are going to, the problem is a little bit more complicated. With a problem like this, it's very easy just to say 10% of 50 kina, and you will get 5 kina, and then you add. But then if you were told 50 kina is an amount of money is increased by 10% and you get 55 kina, how would you get 50 kina? Sometimes it's easier to use this. Okay, so two methods, you use whichever way is convenient to you. Again, when you increase, you either get 10% of the original and then get the value and then add it, or you add the 10% to 100%, you get 110% of 50, you get 55 kina. The same will apply to if you are decreasing. So if you are to decrease, let's say 150 kina by 20%. Okay, like this, you get 20% of 150, which will give 30 kina, and then you decrease 150 kina by 30 kina by subtracting. So you get 150, take away 30 will be 120 kina. Or you decrease 100% by 20. Here, because you're increasing, you add 10 to 100. This time you decrease 100 by 20. So 20 from 100 is 80. So you get 80% of 150 should give 120, I hope. Okay, yeah. So you get 120 kina. Okay, the first exercise that you will do is basically on that, because I will go through the profit and loss because it's basically percentage change when you've completed questions 1 and 2. Okay, there are actually 1, 2, there's question 3 and 4 based on the same idea. So as question 5, and then I'll go through what you should do on question 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, please. You have 20 minutes to do that. Or maybe 15. 15 minutes for questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3 minutes for 1. Okay, we'll look at the answers for questions 1 to 5. Number 1A. Where's that one? We'll start from here, Koi. For 1A, please.
132 kina.
132 kina is correct for letter A. Letter B, Velma.
16 kina.
16 kina is correct. Letter C, Vui.
45 kina.
Correct, 45 kina. D, Solomon. 1D.
19 kina 60.
19 kina, 60. You sure? I've got 11 kina 20. Okay, 11 kina 20. You must have increased a little bit more than 33.33%. Okay, George, number 2A.
112 kina.
Correct. 112 kina. B, Andrew.
460 kina.
Good. 460 kina. C, Peter.
71 kina 40.
Correct. D, Conrele.
8 kina 42.
8 kina 40. Right, next question. In 1983, the price of coffee rose by 10%. In 1984, the price fell by 10%. Is the price of coffee same, more, or less than in 1983? Agnes.
Less than.
Less than. Okay, you have to explain why.
Because in 1983, the price was 1.1x, and in 1984, the price was 0.9x.
Excellent. Did you hear that? Because in 1983, if you increase it, the price became 1.1x because you are told to make the price of coffee, let the price of coffee be x. And then in 1984, if that is increased by 10%, it becomes 0.99x. So in 1984, it's actually less than when it was in 1983. Clear? Do you want me to do it on the board? Okay, if the price of coffee is X, if it is increased by 10%, it will be 110% of X. If you want to 10% of X, but then you have to add that to X. And when you do 10% of X plus X will give you 110% of X. And that is 11 on 10x, which is actually 1.1x. Now you decrease this one because that is the price. Now you decrease it by 10%. Decrease this price because that's the new price. You don't decrease x because it has already changed. The price of coffee has already changed. So you subtract 10% from 100 and you get 90. So the price is now 90% of this one, 110% of x. If you want that 90% of 1.1x. Clear? This is now the new price. Oh, that's what I've done here. So I've decreased it by 10%. So I get 99x over 100, which is 0.99x. So the price is in 1983 84 is now 0.99x. The price was in 1983 when it was increased was 1.1x. So it is now less, just by comparing the two numbers here. Okay, number 4. Raylene, in 1981, the number of pupils at a school was 350. In 1982, there were 378 pupils. What percentage increase is this?
8%.
8%. Very good. Number 5, in one census, a town has a population of 9,483. In the next census, the population has risen to 10,814. What percentage increase does this represent?
It represents the population increase.
What percentage increase?
14%.
Okay, 14%. That's to the nearest whole number. Okay, so that you have something to do for homework, I'll just explain what you have to do next on profit and profit, loss, cost price and selling price. Okay, since you are economics students and you are supposed to be better than me on this one, okay, if you want to make a profit, you always have to have your cost price less than the selling price, otherwise you're making a loss. So profit is usually given by the selling price minus the cost price, and your selling price is always the cost price plus the profit. And the profit is always a percentage. It's always a percentage of the cost price that you have to add onto the cost price to give you the selling price. It's exactly the same as the idea when you increase a quantity. Okay, and for the loss will always be cost price. Cost price must be greater than the selling price. And if you're talking about loss, then the selling price will be cost price minus the, am I correct? Selling price will be less than the cost price, so it will be the cost price minus the loss. Okay, for percentage profit and percentage loss, if this is the profit, then percentage profit, which I will just denote by percentage P, is equal to the selling price minus the cost price, because that's profit. If you want to change it to a percentage, you'll have to divide it by the cost price, because it is the original price, and you multiply all of that by 100. Okay, percentage loss is the other way around. It will be the cost price minus the selling price over the cost price, because it's cost price is the original price, and then you multiply it by 100. And like I said, loss is just like decreasing a quantity, and then profit is just like increasing. But the original is always the cost price. When you increase the cost price by the profit, you will get the selling price. So you never put something over the cost price and get a, selling price and get a percentage of it. It's always over the original price, which is the cost price. Okay, so what you are going to do, you are going to fill in the table for homework. You are also going to do question 2, and I think to question 7 for homework. So if fill in the table up to question 7 for homework. Okay, the keyword to the pilot teacher is percentage change. All right, please stand. Good afternoon, class. Thank you.